Hey guys, it's JW again. I just finished up at the middle school. I'm running a little late because we had an incident over there. I'm at the elementary school at the moment, just arrived. And a very scary situation just occurred over there. I've been having bad vibes about speeders running into kids, but something happened just a few minutes ago, actually. That was an act of God. It had nothing to do with drivers or anyone's lack of safety. When a branch on one of the trees right across from the crosswalk, it's up a little bit on a piece of land that borders a health center, and a branch came down from that tree. And when I say a branch, this is a big tree. The branch was the size of a big tree. I'm guessing, I can't even guess. The branch itself was probably 40 feet long. And it was very, very heavy. And I had my back to that area, and I was right on the crosswalk. I was probably, 25 yards from that area, and I heard this crack, and I knew it was either a tree or a branch coming down. It sounded like a tree coming down, and it was a tree that was a branch. And I'll tell you something, my heart's beating 100 miles an hour right now, because it was right as the kids were dismissed. The kids were walking up the other side of sometimes the kids cross at a different crosswalk down further than me, and they're on the other side of the street, and this is where the incident happened. And there were kids maybe 30 feet away, 35 feet away from where this branch hit the ground. And these kids walk along that lawn and then cut up that street. 30 seconds later, and this could have been an absolute disaster. It's a miracle because there were a lot of kids in the area, and it's a miracle that no one was hurt. Thank you, Jesus. It was a miracle. It could have been a catastrophe. If you got hit with this, you were dead. This was like getting hit by a fallen tree. It was a big tree, but it was a branch from that tree. And a number of people, it's amazing how, technology is great in some respects, for sure. And one of the 2 or 3 of the drivers that came by said they had pictures of it. That they leave their cameras on all the time for purposes if they're in an accident or something. They have proof that. Anyway, one of the gentlemen who stopped, he looked familiar. And he had his blue lights going on, civilian car, black car, but the blue lights, and like an undercover type detective type car. So I went over to him. He was talking to the principal. At that point, the principal came out when he heard about it. And anyway, I introduced myself to the guy. I said, "Are you a police officer?" And he said, "No." I said, "I'm a state trooper." And I said, "Oh, well, thanks for stopping." He goes, "Oh, of course." He said, I've met you before. And I said, "Oh, really?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "You crossed my kid a few times. I come in the morning with him sometimes." I said, "Oh, yeah." No, I said, "I knew I recognized your face." And I said, "I appreciate you stopping and, taking a look, because when they call the city and explain to them what happened, they'll come down and do something about it." And because that tree should be taken down too. I was looking at the tree, and it's an old tree. It's an old tree, and it's that branch that came off was all dead bark. And one of the teachers said, I was telling a couple of teachers not too long ago that tree needs to be removed. And this thing could have been an absolute disaster. But I'm glad it wasn't. And I had a bad vibe that something was going to happen this week because of all the speeding, but never did I guess in a million years it would be that. So anyway, I'm glad everyone's okay, and I'll check in with you guys later. Take care. Bye.